Hello folks, this is Travis of L-State Equine Solutions. Me once again to bring you a fabulous episode of, guess what? Round 2 of fly mitigation and control. So as you notice right now, Travis is standing right next to a bucket. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of version about what this is for. And we'll do a close-up here real quick. Basically, this looks like just like a mineral lick, which is essentially what it is. It's made by Key Licks. Very good product, and I use this for horse. And what this one is specifically is Key Licks Equine Platinum with garlic and larvicide. So what does that mean? Basically, the horses come up here, they'll lick all this, and they'll go in their system, and then when they poop out the road apples, you have a different chemical inside there that's very healthy for the horse, doesn't harm the horses, that prevents the larvae from the flies from developing, which wholesale, which means flies aren't bothering the livestock. Now you're going to say, well, what's the price of this? Well, they tend to be a little pricey and stuff, but I guarantee you, if you had mosquitoes and flies flying around you, you wouldn't care what the cost was. You just go, how much? Because I need that darn fly spray right now. I need the mosquito repellent right now, and so forth. So if you're doing your horses a favor, you'll get some type of material like this. And this is just a way of getting it done. It's real handy. It's real self-sufficient. A lot of times what we're going to do is it comes in a bucket. It's a 50-pound on this case. There's a lot of different companies out there make it. But this one's very, very nice. And that's what we're using here. One thing I like to do for safety is take the handle off. You've probably seen pictures on Face Crack, otherwise known as Facebook, showing the handles getting impaled on the lips of the horse, hanging there like an earring. We don't want that, okay? So I'm going to cut off these handles here real quick and remove them for safety, because it's a lot cheaper to be preventive maintenance than it would be for a veterinarian bill. I guarantee you that. Okay, so I'm going to bend out the handle. That way if I need it again, I can recycle it, become a pail later on. These things aren't easy by any stretch of the imagination to take off. So it means it was designed strongly. That's the plus. Okay, I just rotate the end towards the camera, and voila, and voila. I think easier. I think this is a little bit harder to make a flapjacks right there. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm going to take the cover off. And you're probably wondering, well, what other ingredients is there? So we'll do a close-up here so you can kind of see the ingredients. Once again, it's 50 pounds. You can see a little bit of verbiage on there. And I'll rotate to the other side. Hopefully the shadowing of the phone doesn't get in the way so you can read it, or shadow can cover it so you can read it. Now, a lot of times, because it's a bucket, it'll probably get knocked over pretty nicely. So later on, you'll probably see me possibly put a tire around it to keep it more stable, especially when you got a whole herd of horses. All right, so I'm going to move it back here a little bit more comfortable. I just cut the handle off over here because we're in the sunlight. Now, I think this is a good spot. I'll check with the boss. She nods north and south. And here we go. So that's taking care of one herd of horses. Now we'll go drop another one off to a different herd of horses. Thank you. Howdy folks, this is Travis once again. We're going to show you a little technique on different ointments to put on horses. The first episode that we talked about is mainly talking about the outside of the hide of a horse, okay, the hairy side, how to treat it for flies and stuff. Now, if you're in places out west like Montana, Wyoming, they got tall grass, there's a lot of flies that are inside the grass. The horse walks by it, and the flies go right up inside the nostrils, okay? They'll climb right up there. You're riding along, and then pretty soon the horse's head shaking like this, and you're like, what the heck's going on here? Well, it's real simple. It's not the bit. The horse doesn't care about the bits because the bit's not bothering him. Probably ain't your hands during that time if you did nothing wrong. More than likely, it's a fly that flew up right inside the nostrils, okay? And I'll take a picture and post of what those flies look like. But I'm going to show you a technique to be able to cure that. So all you got to do is get some SWAT. Some people use Vaseline. Some people use a number of things. I like SWAT personally. But all I'm going to do is put it around the nostrils. And this is why your horse got to be desensitized, because you got to get deep inside the nostrils, okay, with this stuff to keep the flies off. And you'll see my hands go deep inside the nostrils here in a second. Okay, I got my fingers right deep in his nostrils, and I'll do it on this side too. And you just go deep up inside that nostrils, and I'll put it right there on the front. Okay, this helps a horse out a lot, because them flies will go deep down inside the navel cavity. But if you got this in there, flies are like, oh man, I don't like that, and they buzz right out of there, okay? Heck, it looks like he likes that already, because he did have some flies on there, house flies. But that's just a technique of using SWAT to help your horse out, okay? All right, thank you. All right, folks, what we're going to do is show you another tip for fly mitigation. And that's, once again, it involves SWAT. What's really nice is SWAT can stay inside your salad bags, medicine bags, your banana bag, whatever bag you put in. It doesn't make a lot of mess. So that's one of the nice things that's handy about these versus having a traditional pump spray type of repellent, especially if you're in the backwoods. So you notice I have some water here in a water container. Normally you have that around a lot of rodeo events, whatever event you're at. And no matter where you're at with horses, there's flies. So I'm going to show you a quick technique is using SWAT to make repellent that is applicable to be able to pour on your horse. Because you know this stuff originally comes in a paste. Unless you're down in Arizona where it turns into soup because of the hot heat that we got down here. So basically all you're going to do is dip your hand in there and you're just going to pour. It's like liquid here. Believe me, it ain't like that in most places. But you're just going to pour it inside the water. Just get about that much, probably about 4 tablespoons amount. Cover this back up. Put the lid back on, and stuff that's on your hand, you just wipe on the horse's face. And we're just going to take it and we're going to shake it around. It's a real oily stuff product. So once it goes onto the skin of the horse, it pretty much stays there for a little while. And nice thing about it is it doesn't evaporate as quickly as some of the other stuff. You can see it's starting to turn white inside the water. But this is just another way of getting it done if you have to. Out there and the flies are so bad, and you got to come up with a way to prevent it, because you don't have a big spray bottle with you. You don't have any of that stuff with you. Okay, so now I got it pretty well taken care of. I'm going to catch my caballo. And we're just going to put some of it on him. So we're going to use Gunner again for a test example. And the flies are in here, so we're going ahead and use it. So all I do is just pour it on. He's like, dang, that's cold. And I'm pouring it over his body this time versus if the attack equipment would be at place, I will probably wouldn't be putting it where the tack is. And that's all there is to it. I can feel the oil going all over the horse. And it's just a way to getting the job done. And then obviously if I want some more, because there's still cubes, I can pour more water in there for the horse. And it'll keep the flies off. Because most fly repellent evaporates. This stuff here, because it's got oily substance, doesn't. And I could take the chunks out that's left over. And use it the traditional way. And like I said, it's just a way of getting it done. Not the all, but it is handy. And you can just see those flies are everywhere. And once you're done putting it, especially if you touch a swat, make sure you go get your hands washed using some soap and water, because this stuff is sticky. Okay, that's all there is to that. Like I said, it's just a way to get it done for emergencies around the backwoods, and it's pretty handy. Thank you.